Hey, Joan here. Welcome to another new moon forecast with Triana and Nigel and myself. And today we're going to talk about the new moon, the black new moon,
Mm.
in the sign of Capricorn for December 30th. And when I think about this particular moon, I see this Capricorn energy as helping us see the big picture and how to get there. I think it's a great time to set our intentions for 2025 and about being clear and specific. And I think it's time to decide what you want to bring into your life. And I think that is some of the magic that this particular new moon offers. Triana is the new moon specialist. So, Triana, what are you in the mood to share about this particular Capricorn new moon?
Well, you just nailed it yourself, Joan. This is good work. This Capricorn new moon is called a black moon because it's the second new moon of the month, where a second full moon of the month is called a new moon. Or, yeah, excuse me, it's called a blue moon. This is a second new moon, so it's a black moon. And that doesn't mean black is in bad or evil or anything like that. It's just a name. But this new moon in Capricorn is indeed a resolve to reflect on what we want to bring forth for the new year. And in that resolve, since Capricorn is an earth planet or an earth sign, let me get my words together here. Capricorn is a discipline sign, and it also tends to look at the big picture because a Capricorn goat will climb the mountain and look at things from above. So, this new moon invites us to go within and look from above at the same time. While doing that, we can reflect on the pieces that we need to bring together to manifest what we want to see in the new coming year of 2025.
You're
Mm.
brilliant.
Well,
I
thank
mean, it's so fun to sort of prep for these calls and do, the research on my end. And then Triana brings the afterburner that just brings it all together. That's huge. So, okay, so this is kind of I'm going to ask this question, trying to see what you think of this. One of the things I hear about Capricorn, so I think of the mountain goat, and but I've heard it said they think of Capricorn as a sea goat. Do you have any comments on the idea between a mountain, my idea of it being a mountain goat and a sea goat? Anything on that?
I've seen sea goats on a merry-go-round, but no, I don't think of Capricorn as a sea goat at all. I think of it as the mountain goat. That's the way I've been trained. And they climb. They climb very deliberately. They like to know where each step is going to go. That's a very Capricornian trait. You don't sway a Capricorn easily. They want to know where that foot is going to go. Otherwise, they'll tumble down the mountain. So and they want to be in charge of where that foot's going to go. So you'll have a difficult time convincing a Capricorn away from its own opinion. And that can make them difficult to deal with sometimes. But if you can work around that and you have a convincing argument, which takes discipline on your part, you will gain their audience.
I think one of the key words, one sec, Nigel, I just want to say this one thing. One of the key words that kept coming up for me is I think of sure-footed, is they're not only just a mountain goat, because my thought I just remember like being in Wyoming in one of the national parks and seeing mountain goats, on just these wild cliffs, etc., leaping from me, and it sort of defies my imagination as to thinking, wait a second, how are they getting from here to there? And that Capricorn sure-footedness and that capability, it's sort of like, I think if you're a CEO and you're a Capricorn, that company can be comfortable, confident that, someone is in charge who can go in all of these directions and stay nice and steady. I think of the other word is steady and kind of and consistent, but that
Right.
grounded. I mean, if you think of it as exalted earth, of all the three signs, they saved, can't say we saved the best for last. We've saved the last for the last, because, each earth sign is wonderful. Um, and Nigel, what were you saying before I was interrupting you?
No, that was okay. There was a couple of things that were raised by Triana that I just want to see if I'm understanding that correctly, and also it's sparking questions in me about um, the mastery of the sure-footedness of the Capricorn climbing the mountain in relationship to the new moon in Capricorn and the end of 2024 and the starting of 2025. And you mentioned the word about discipline. And so my first thought was, what's the end goal? And then I said, well, hold on a minute. That's going to be something that you can set clear intentions, but also when it falls in each individual's birth chart, um, how is that going to, how would I best find out the benefits or get an insight for myself or anybody looking at their birth chart and incorporating these elements of the new moon? I know that we're moving from, last time we talked about going from Pluto into Aquarius, correct me if I'm wrong, Triana, but also that those elements, as I understand them, must have some bearing on us uniquely, individually.
Okay, I was with you until you mentioned Pluto going into Aquarius, because that doesn't really relate to the new moon being in Capricorn. This new moon doesn't align with anything. It's just
Okay.
out there all by itself, and at 9 degrees of Capricorn. And that kind of the word that comes to my mind is purity, because it has the chance to be its own self, and without the influence or the influx of any energies coming in from any other planet.
Okay, but isn't this the first new moon in Capricorn since Pluto moved into Aquarius?
Let me think. The other new moon, the previous new moon in Capricorn was December 2nd.
In Sag.
The previous new moon in Capricorn. This is the second, excuse me, I'm wrong. You're right. This is the second new moon, but the first new moon in Capricorn. I believe this is the first new moon since Pluto moved into Aquarius. I'm not sure. I don't have it right in front of me.
That's okay. I'm actually quoting you from the previous podcast when you mentioned that our next podcast was going to talk about the new moon in Capricorn, and that it would be the first or since Pluto went into Aquarius. And
right.
I acknowledge I was able to listen to the podcast after it went out publicly again. And I particularly thought, oh, that's really fascinating, because here we've got something that I suppose for me, there was an element of it about building practical security for people. But then I said, well, how does it impact the individual That's what I was questioning.
Right. Well, that depends on where this new moon is in your birth chart. And in order to know where it is in your birth chart, you need to know what your ascendant is, your rising sign, which
Oh.
is the cusp of your first house. From then, it's just counting by house until you get to Capricorn. And then that's where this new moon will be in your personal chart. And then you can kind of figure it out from there, but it'll be a bit different for everybody.
Okay.
So in case you don't know that information, Triana's new website, Epona Astrology, am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes.
EponaAstrology.com. It's linked right below. And you can just click there and make an appointment and talk to Triana, and she can help you understand your chart and how that new moon works for you, how you benefit from it. And coincidentally, the theme that I came up with as I was looking at this, the theme for like 25 and really kind of this new moon that we're going into was a poem I came across that, see what you think. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got.
Yeah.
So, and so then my thought was, okay, Joan, now what do we do with that? Okay. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. Okay. So what I came up with was for 3 thoughts for 25: time to dream bigger, release the past, embrace the future.
Love it.
Yeah, super.
So it just sort of has kind of that flow, because I think that's that just sort of spoke to me on that. Let me ask you this, Triana. Which signs do you think are the most sensitive to this new moon? Like, who's going to feel it the most, do you think? Which of the sun signs are the signs for this new moon?
Well, definitely Capricorn, and also the cardinal signs, which are Capricorn, Cancer, and Aries, and Libra. And cardinal signs are the signs that initiate things, and they're the starters of the zodiac. So those 4 signs, as well as the earth signs, and that's Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo.
Question.
Okay.
Are there, when you talk about this new moon in Capricorn, I know that also astrologically countries have particular astrological elements to them. Would you perceive any particular country or countries, plural, perhaps being impacted a little bit more about what you said in the theme for this new moon in Capricorn?
Well, I'd have to know those countries' charts. I only know the chart for the US. And
Well, let's start with that.
well, the US has a Cancer sun sign. So yeah, it's being affected. And the new moon is on the let's see, the United States has the Sagittarius rising. So this Capricorn moon will be in its 2nd house, which is finances and resources, which is very interesting considering what's going on with our government right now and all of the finagling with Elon Musk and all of the whatever is going on over there. I try not to put too much energy into the angst, if you know what I mean. But that's where it lands in the US chart. But I don't know the charts for like Great Britain or France or anywhere else.
Yeah, well, I only ask you because of Bitcoin.
Because what?
Because of Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Yeah, no, that I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
So are we ready for some cards?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, please.
Let's play and see what stories we now have kind of a general idea. And so I think of Capricorn, you know, some of the keywords I wrote down today were about discipline, purity, being in charge, sure-footedness. And I'm going to go right back to help us see the big picture and how to get there. And that now is a great time looking forward and being crystal clear on what you want to achieve. And not only what that is, but what are you ready to receive? You know, it's both. So I went back to December 2nd, which I believe was our new moon in Sagittarius. And I'm holding up a card on that one. And the comment on the bottom of the card is focus on the positive. So in the first part of December, from December up until now, it was all about, when I think of Sagittarius, I think of the archer, you know, pulling back and archery, pulling back the bow, pointing the arrow in the direction you want to go, letting it go, and having that focus on being positive. And then we did the full moon in Gemini. And this particular card is embrace the flow of life. And then we moved into the new moon in Capricorn, which is showing on this particular card. It's the mountain range with the new moon above it. Step up and lead, baby.
Oh, yeah.
When you think about the energy of going, you know, right into the new year, it's interesting that it's, you know, the end of December, and step up and lead. Well, we're standing on the shoulders, you know, that we've been embracing the flow of life previously because we've been focusing on the positive. So that sort of energy, Sag, pull that arrow, you know, pull the bow back, choose your target, let her go, focus on the positive, going after it. And then the process of that arrow moving through it, we're embracing the flow of life. And then today, it's about, we've come into, it's time to step up and lead. And how fabulous that we're so sure-footed. So that's, to me, as the moon gets larger and brighter, and we can see more of the path forward, that's how we're going to be, my thought is sort of nourished, guided, protected, is we're going to be able to see that light illuminating our path. And it's up to us to choose what is our path, where would we like to go. That decisiveness, like I decide, is a potent way for moving forward. So first, let's pull a card. I'm going to just do a little shuffling here. Okie. Okay, so we want to pull a card for Capricorn. Well, we've got the step up and lead. We've got the mountain goat. We're about discipline. So this card was in our last reading.
Mhm.
And it's badger spirit, and it's a badger wearing lovely feathers and flower on her head. And her message to us is be fearless and bold. So if you want affirmation for step up and lead, step one, be fearless and bold. Brilliant. I think that just totally works.
That's perfect.
Okay, good. I don't want to be sounding like, okay, then here's card number 2. So for Cancer,
Mm.
the Cancer card is a lovely swan. And her energy, it's time for a deep dive. And, you know, when it comes to deep dives emotionally, Cancer is just one that I certainly rely on. My Cancer friends teach me about that.
That's very good.
I mean, I like it when I get an earth sign for an earth card and a water card for a water sign. Yes. Okay, so now let's see what we can bring for Aries. Frog spirit. So this one, oh, I like this. So now, you know, frogs on the lily pod, no, lily pad, underwater, on the water, on top of the water. Clear out the clutter.
Yeah.
So, and that what comes to my mind is that this last at the end of the year is when I really focus on not only clearing out that, do I need to update any habits? What can I let go of that no longer works? Can I clear out email? Can I clear out files? Can I clear out a closet? Maybe it's a kitchen drawer. Whatever it might be, that sort of letting go. Because think of it, we're in winter. Winter is about stillness. It's about quiet. It's about slow moving energy, taking your time, being mindful. And then Libra, skunk spirit, skunk sitting on top of a flower. Know your worth. So we have a badger, a swan, a squan. No, that's between a squan. Joan, slow down. Badger.
New life form.
Right, exactly. So Capricorn is badger energy. Cancer is swan. Aries is a frog. And Libra is a skunk. So when you think of the cardinal signs, as Triana reminds us, they're the starters of the zodiac. So we have step up and lead as our focus for this month. So Badger teaches us be fearless and bold. Cancer reminds us take a deep dive. Aries says, because Aries is like to me just the way shower of boldness, the first sign of the zodiac. Clear out the clutter, make way, create space, create room. And then finally, Libra comes in and says, you know what? Remember your worth, know your value, know your worth. So the cardinal teachers for this month, know your worth, clear out the clutter. It's safe. Take a deep dive. Be fearless and bold. Why? So you can step up and lead. So that's what the cardinal signs are teaching us. And then let's look at the earth signs. But first, you know, Nigel and Triana, does it feel like there's a resonance for you on what I've shared?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Let me go into Capricorn now. We have a beautiful starfish. Open to influence. Like funny.
Go, Joan.
So easy for me to say. Open to infinite possibility. So you think about what Capricorn's telling us right here. Step up and lead. Be open to infinite possibility. And what was, and yeah. And be fearless and bold. Wow. Okay.
That's great.
That's pretty fascinating. Sorry, I'm just trying to organize these cards so I can get my story somewhat straight. Okay, so Capricorn was starfish spirit, open to infinite possibility. You can kind of think about that. How does that feel for you when you're thinking about your leadership, what you're ready to move into, What do you want to embrace? Is there any clutter that's affecting your path you need to clear?
Mhm.
With that, when you do that, your reward is infinite possibilities. You can move in any direction. And then Taurus, for her, oh, one of my favorites, the turtle. Turtle spirit, slow and steady wins the race.
That is so perfect for Taurus. Taurus is a lot like Capricorn with the sure-footedness, but with Taurus, you try to make Taurus go faster than it wants to. It digs its heels in and it will not move.
My favorite. I loved, I've got Taurus friends. My little brother's a Taurus. One word that comes to mind, stubborn.
Stubborn. I was just going to spell it out. Stubborn.
And I'll tell you, when it comes to spreadsheets and wanting to know how to do it, I'm going right to my Taurus friends and to asking them, how do you use this?
Mhm.
And they're masterful at money and organizing all of these things. It's such a blessing
They are.
to have Taurus friends. All right, and now let's go to Virgo. Oh, every time I pull this card, it reminds me of a turkey named Layla who lives on an island next door. Give with gratitude and grace. I mean, that to me is so Virgo.
Yes.
Lovely earth sign. So when you think of Earth's ability in this, moving forward, stepping up to lead, Capricorn is open to, reminds us, be open to infinite possibilities. Taurus helps us slow down and remember that slow and steady wins the race. And this time of year to me is the most apropos for slow, steady, quiet, that white January winter in the Northern Hemisphere. And then Virgo reminds us, give with gratitude and grace. So there's a sweetness to me. There's an ease of the way the earth signs are bringing in this new year. There's no accident that Capricorn leads us out of the year into a new year and a new cycle. So Capricorn's guidance for us, the earth signs guidance is give with gratitude and grace. Slow and steady wins this race. Be open to infinite possibility.
Nice.
And when you do, be spirit. Sweet success awaits.
Hallelujah.
That's great.
It's interesting. It was such a grounding. These readings are so different every time in the theme. And it's just quite a story going, the back and forth of it. Anything that you guys want to say?
Yes. Thank you for the way that you presented that to me as one. I'm a guest and co-participant, but I learned a lot from what you just did. And thank you so much.
Well, my pleasure. I learned a lot having you here. That's the beauty of the three of us coming together and sharing this magic and offering it to the world.
Mhm.
Very, very special. Thank you, Nigel.
I love it too, Joan, that you're able to break the astrology down into the card readings so that every little facet of each cardinal sign and each earth sign has its own way to shine, and that creates this flowing attitude that we can adopt and really look at. And I just think that's terrific.
Well, it's a treat. Before I do the final run through of all of them together, do either of you want me to pull a card for anything in particular? Did you want something on Bitcoin?
No, but seeing as it's the end of the year, and I think as we move into 2025, it would be nice to just get a general sense of what the first couple of months before we start seeing the new buds of spring arriving might potentially give us some energy through these wonderful cards where we can frame things in a way that gives people some joy and hope. And I'm sure that the cards will, and the one that you pick will be the most suitable. So I'm looking forward to it. So go ahead, please.
So let me give you a choice here. So I thought of it two ways. One, as we just pick a card, one card for the first quarter, or would you like a story of January, February, March? Since you were talking about the first couple of months, would you like one card or would you like three cards?
Well, I'd like us to go all in and go for three.
I would too, but I just wanted to double check. So, January,
Mm-hmm.
co-create with spirit. Remember, step up and lead. How do you do this? Inward, then outward. February, Black Panther. Remember your power. Oh, I'm going to just.
Oh, that's so significant to me for some reason.
Okay, so this is really wild. So we're in a 9-year, right? I mean, we're in an 8-year.
Yeah.
So you think of it, these are both cards. When you add these together, these both equal the number 8. Crow spirit, co-create with spirit. It's number 8. Luck, abundance. It's a black crow. Okay, black, feminine. New moon, darkness, where birth happens in that quiet time. Black Panther, February, reclaim your power. Number 17. It's also an 8. Again, more luck. Now let's go for March. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Owl spirit, this beautiful owl. You see clearly now. So let me pull all this together. I'm going to do my best. So here was the card that we started off. This is bee spirit. Sweet results await. We've expanded it to just today's reading for December 30 to also include the first quarter of 25. So in March, we're really going to be able to see more clearly. We'll have that ability to reclaim our power, and we're reminded to co-create with spirit. But before we get there, we need to give with gratitude and grace. We need to slow down and have steady movements. Think of that mountain goat. Think of that Capricorn. Slow, steady movements. And be open to infinite possibilities. As we're moving forward, are we open? Are we ready to receive. Well, what's something that might help us be even more so? Being fearless and bold. And being adventurous, going a little bit deeper. What's going to make it easier to dive a little bit deeper? Clearing the clutter so we don't get stuck. And what does that help us do? Know our worth. So we're surrounded, but by what adds meaning and value to our lives, and we eliminate what doesn't. So what does all that do? Well, it brings us right into Capricorn's new moon about stepping up and leading. Why? Well, we've been embracing the flow of life for the last few weeks, and we started off the 2nd of December focusing on the positive. And what's the result of this story? Sweet results await. Yes, yes, yes. Are we ready for that?
Heck yeah.
Well, and I want to thank everyone for spending quality time for us. Sorry, my words. For spending quality time with us today. We so appreciate it. And it's truly in our heart and our intention to offer conversations that might pique your interest. And if you want to know more about Nigel's work, just click below Triana's work or mine. We're all listed directly below the video. And so we're launching today, December 30th, the new moon in Capricorn. We're going to be back. Let me get, for the full moon podcast is going to be January 13, and that's going to be in the sign of Cancer. So we'll be back to do that one. And thank you very much for joining us today.
Hey, Joan,
Yes?
before we sign off, could you pull one more card for something that I am rabidly curious about?
Yes.
The drones.
Cat spirit.
Oh my God.
Claim your independence.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. And that's so funny because when you think about it, Triana, right before the call, you had to put your cat Midnight into a timeout.
I did.
Maybe he's wanting you to know.
I just brought him out.
That's right. He's claiming his independence. Cat spirit. That is so funny. And anything for you, Nigel? We had
No, I
drones.
mean, this is cosmic, man. You know, it's like I love this. These chats are very insightful, and I very much feel grateful and blessed to be part of the energy and the wisdom that is being shared. And I sincerely hope, and I know you two feel the same way, that people out there will resonate with it and hopefully come back and enjoy more podcasts as they come out in the future.
That would be wonderful. Yeah.
We
Yes.
sure have fun doing them.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you both again. And thank you for listening to Moon, Myth, and Magic. And let's see how your Capricorn new moon rolls out into the new year. And we'll be back in 2 weeks for the full moon in Cancer. We'll see you then. Bye for now.
Happy
Take
New
care.
Year.
Oh, yes. Happy New Year.
Oh yeah. Happy New Year.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, here we go.